Today, new chapter, chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. The construct is, we have a creator, and the creator first created a designer, an architect, and assigned that architect this job of coming up with a universe. In that universe, there is also life, what material creations of this architect will have life is decided by the creator. Why? We don't know the answer to it. We may never find that answer. But for what purpose? We can guess. The goal is to find that creator. In other words, go back. So, if we were created, we came from that creator, if nothing here on this material universe, material world, binds us, logic says we should automatically go back to the creator. But we are not going back to the creator, which means that there's something binding us. And obviously, then we can see what might be binding us. There are many ways in which we can understand it. In the first 4 verses in this chapter, an analogy of a tree is used to explain to us this attachment, what binds us. So, a specific tree is used. The tree used is the Ficus religiosa. In Tamil, it is called Arasamaram. In Hindi, it is perhaps Peepal. Peepal tree. Not people, but it's Peepal tree. It's sort of a fig family tree. We've all seen it. It's not the banyan tree. Banyan tree has aerial roots. This is the ficus tree. Some books and some scholars, when they translate this verse, the first 4 verses in this chapter, they talk about a banyan tree, which is perhaps erroneous. So it's the ficus tree. What is known about the ficus tree? How do we understand? Ficus tree has very beautiful branches. It grows profusely. It's a beautiful tree with many nice leaves, small leaves, uniform leaves. And it has a root system, which is a taproot system. Versus the fibrous root system. It's a taproot system which binds that tree very strongly to the ground. And the taproot, in fact, grows above ground. You can see it. So that's the tree that's used as an analogy. If there is a linear process, in other words, you take the nutrients from the earth and then evaporate it to the space, environment or space, is done in a direct motion, you wouldn't see any leaves or you wouldn't need any branches. So it'll just pull from one single root, small tiny root, the nutrient, take it all the way up and then just let it go. But that's not the way it works, right? So what are the branches? The branches are grown by the gunas, the drama in everyday life that we all try to play. Sometimes tired and not doing anything until your spouse says, "You've been sitting in front of the TV for too long. Why don't you do something?" And that's when you get into an argument with the spouse, and that's the rajas guna. Tamas is sitting quietly. And then after all that discussion or expressing your rajas in by through sports or just argument or any other way, you get tired and then come and then do a little bit of meditation. Peace comes, sattvic guna. So this manifestation of these gunas on a daily basis through this drama of life is what is nourishing this tree to grow branches. And these branches, to grow them nicely in a beautiful, profuse way and in a circular tree, some knowledge is necessary. We rely on Vedas for that. So Vedas are the branches, according to the analogy in the first two verses. Gunas encourage you to read the Vedas, to find out the way of life. And the actions we take, instigated by the gunas, lead to karma, and that binds us to the ground through that root. So instead of the whole nutrient that we take is evaporated into the sky, we now are spreading it to grow and grow and grow. It's the family tree. In other words, the family here symbolizes attachments. Attachment to material things, attachment to living things, all that attachment is symbolized by the branches and the leaves. And the purpose being to go back. How do we achieve that? That's the question right now, and this chapter might help us. We have been put on this earth with a certain purpose, and how do we shake that attachment and fulfill that purpose, and at the same time get out of this, the tree. That's the way I am understanding the first two.